60 years ago today, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. led the historic March on Washington. King delivered the landmark I Have a Dream speech to more than 200,000 people on the National Mall.
On Saturday, a new generation gathered in the same spot to honor King's legacy and to celebrate the civil rights movement. Thousands marched from the Lincoln Memorial to the MLK Memorial. And today, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will meet with King's children. Our Anne-Marie Green has more.
In the years leading up to the March on Washington, heightened violence and police brutality commanded the American consciousness.
The only way that they are going to get their rights is to go in the street and demonstrate. I think we owe them and we owe ourselves a better country than that.
On June 12, 1963, just hours after President John F. Kennedy addressed the nation in a televised speech championing equal rights, a Mississippi black NAACP activist named Medgar Evers stepped out of his car in front of his home and was shot in the back by a white supremacist. Evers' wife and children found him bleeding on their doorstep. He died less than an hour later at a hospital that initially refused to treat him because of his race. In April of that year, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and at least 4 dozen others were jailed for violating Alabama's laws against mass public demonstrations during a peaceful march against segregation in Birmingham. The following month, bombings thought to have been carried out by the KKK in cooperation with police targeted African-American leaders, businesses, and the home of MLK's younger brother. The city erupted in protests where demonstrators were beaten, bitten by police dogs, and hosed.
And for more on this, we're joined by Lonnie Bunch. He is the secretary of the Smithsonian Institution. Thanks so much for making time, Lonnie.
Good morning. Thank you.
So in 1963, James Baldwin, who is widely considered one of the most influential writers and social critics of the 20th century, spoke about what the country needs to be doing to move forward. Let's take a listen.
The country will have to now go to work, and very hard work, very dangerous work, to change itself, to achieve this dream that Martin was talking about. And if we do not achieve this dream, we have no future at all.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask you anyway. Have we achieved the dream?
We haven't achieved the dream. We've made major steps forward. This is a different America than America of 60 years. But what was clear with Martin Luther King and James Baldwin is this was going to be a long struggle, a long journey. And in essence, while we can look back and say the civil rights movement, the March on Washington, changed the nation. It led to new laws being passed. It led to changing in the way African Americans had access to economic opportunity. But on the whole, we still have so far to go, and that in essence, the march on Saturday was really both a celebration of the past, but also a clarion call that we still have work to do to reach that dream.
Yeah, it's not lost on me that we're talking about a racially motivated shooting in Jacksonville, Florida, at the same time that this is the updated March on Washington is taking place. Can you go back and we can dive a little deeper what impact the March on Washington did have on our country? Could you lay out some of those?
The March on Washington did several things. First of all, what the March on Washington did was it nationalized the civil rights movement. Often it was seen as regional, what was going on in Birmingham or Montgomery, but suddenly to see 200,000 people coming to Washington, people that represented not just the civil rights organization, but represented labor and religious organizations. So you saw America coming together. And by doing that, they put pressure on Congress, on the Kennedy administration, to ultimately pass the Civil Rights Act of '64, the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But really, what came out of it was this notion from Martin Luther King and many others that articulated what America could be, articulated a sense that this was a nation that could live up to its stated ideals if it came together, if it crossed racial lines, if it was willing to challenge those that stood against it. And so in many ways, what the March on Washington does is it really becomes a centerpiece that really moved the civil rights movement forward for many years, but it also becomes a memory that says 60 years later, there's still so much to do to achieve that dream.
What else needs to be done? What changes do we need to see to really have achieved that dream?
Well, I think, first of all, as you mentioned, there's still this amazing amount of racial hatred. the shooting in Jacksonville, the shooting at the church in Charleston, the shootings in Buffalo. So in essence, what we need to do is accept that that's a part of the consciousness that we're dealing with, and that we have to make clear that everybody has to stand against that kind of racial hatred. I think it's also crucially important to think about what is missing that didn't come out of the civil rights movement, which was really economic opportunity for all segments of the African American community. And that in essence, what really is the challenge is to make sure that the window isn't open just for a few, but that for hundreds of thousands of people should have the economic opportunity that Martin Luther King dreamed of. And I think the other piece is really the notion that to recognize that what the civil rights movement wanted to do was it wanted to sort of say that America really needed to be a place of fairness and freedom, and that by coming together we could do that. And so I think to keep that in mind, that in essence it is a long struggle, but the goal is to help America live up to its stated ideals.
Fairness and freedom. Baldwin said, if we don't achieve the dream, we have no future at all. I'm curious, what do you think our future will look like in terms of social justice at this point?
Well, as a historian, I always think what history does is it defines reality, but it also gives hope. I think that there is no doubt that the challenges before us are great. But if we use history, as the great John O. Franklin once said, as a mirror to America, to understand where we once were, to contextualize where we are today, but to point us towards a better shared future. So my notion is, if we embrace our history, if we're brave enough to look at the past and to use that as a ladder of change, then I think we can make America live up to its ideals. But there's no doubt that that will always be a struggle as long as there's an America.
Very well put. Lonnie Bunch, thanks so much.
Thank you.